late NASCO BISCUITS founder, Ali of Terror linked Buhari's minister Pantami. Others funded terror cells in 2002 before Boko Haram emerged. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Hassan is a founding member of the Islam movement GIBWIS and the current chairman of its board of trustees and the chairman of the Katsina State Jibwis chapter. An investigative report by Nigerian journalist David Hundeyin has revealed how the late NASCO Group multi-billionaire founder Ahmed Idris Nasruddin and Yakubu Musa Kafanchan, also known as Sheikh Yakubu Musa Katsina, and Ali of Nigeria's terror-linked Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, funded Islamic terror cells in 2002. According to the reports published on West Africa Weekly, Hassan is a founding member of the Islam movement GIBWIS and the current chairman of his board of trustees and the chairman of the Katsina State Jibwis chapter. They were alleged to have funded the activity of people like Kabiru Sokoto, the mastermind of the Christmas Day bombing of the St. Theresian Roman Catholic Church on December 25, 2011 in Mandala, Niger State, which killed 37 Christians. The report read partly. Nasruddin was an Eritrean who moved to Jos in Nigeria's Plateau State and grew his father's small manufacturing business into a $460 million conglomerate involved in everything from breakfast, cereal and confectionery to pharmaceuticals, real estate and energy. After many years of growth and success, he eventually handed his sprawling business empire over to his son, Atia Nasruddin, and retired at an old satisfied age. What on earth could this shrewd, respectable businessman, who looked like he could not hurt a fly, have done to put him in the same article as a story about the world deathless terrorist organization? Why would the brand he built, which too many Nigerians evokes memory of a beloved childhood breakfast staple, appear in the same sentence as Boko Haram? To answer these questions, our story begins on another continent in 1955, some 8 years before his father would move to Nigeria and establish NASCO Group. The year is 1955 when a 33-year-old Islamic scholar from Gumi in modern-day Zamfara State has made his way to Mecca for his first Hajj pilgrimage. Alongside him is a certain Ahmadu Bello, who is the premier of northern Nigeria. During his trip, the scholar impresses both Ahmadu Bello and the Saudi king Saud with his Arabic translation skills. He rapidly makes a big impression on many locals and clerics in Mecca. These relationships will later become the most valuable assets following the events that take place after his subsequent return to Nigeria. Upon returning to Nigeria, he takes up position teaching Arabic studies at Islamic schools in Kano and Kaduna. His style of teaching focusing on educating his students about the differences between Islamic religious doctrine and local customs. Based on the street Sunni understanding of the Quran, he teaches his students to adopt a pure Islamic identity at the expense of practices that he considered bid'ah, roughly translated as innovation or corruption. He also becomes the first Islamic scholar to translate the Quran from Arabic into Hausa, which puts him in a uniquely influential position comparable to that of Ajayi Crowther in 19th century southwestern Nigeria. Using this leverage, he becomes an increasingly powerful figure in northern Nigeria, with his essentialist views on Islamic doctrine gaining popularity. To him, the existing Sufi orders of northern Nigeria are polluted with bid'ah and unfit for purpose. He becomes well known for attacking the Tinjanaya and the Kadiriya brotherhoods during his appearances on Radio Kaduna while advocating for a return to Islamic purity. Following the death of his friend and benefactor Ahmed Bello, the scholar finds himself in a precarious situation. The new Nigerian federal government led by soldiers has a motive to crack down on anyone who is outspoken and influential. He may be a giant in northern Nigeria, but he is a giant with the feet of clay. His solution is to seek financial, doctrinal, and political from his friends in Mecca. The Saudis, as always, are ready to help. His Saudis backers are keen to use him as espouse the Saudi Arabian state official interpretation of Islam, which is based on the work of 18th century Islamic scholar Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. This fundamentalist doctrine, often known as Wahhabism, fits very closely with the teachings of our hero in northern Nigeria. and he enthusiastically sets about gathering support for this new Saudi-funded project. This effort bore fruit in Nigeria's Muslim northern region with the creation of a movement, the Izala Society, dedicated to wiping out ritual innovations. Essential texts for members of the Izala Society are Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab, treatise of God's unity, and commentaries by his grandsons. Reaching out to his Aswa students across Kaduna and Kano over the course of the 1970s, the scholar turned politician slowly built a coalition of strategically aligned individuals who will someday become very powerful people in northern Nigeria. In 1978, one of his prominent studies, Sheikh Ismaila Idris, takes charge of this increasingly powerful but somewhat unofficial movement and calls it Jamatu Izalatil Bida wa Ikamus Sunnah, Society of Removal of Innovation and Reestablishment of the Sunnah, also known as BISCUITS. Based in Jos and known colloquially as the Izala movement, this organization will go on to become the most influential Islamic body in Nigeria over the next few decades. Its members will become some of the Nigeria's most revered imams and clerics. They will achieve high ranks in the Nigerian armed forces. BISCUITS will come to exert a level of influence over Nigerian national politics and governance that is unprecedented for a religious body in Nigeria. Soon, it will become almost impossible to achieve power in many parts of northern Nigeria without identifying with the Izala movement. Among other things, the scholar states that the Muslims should never accept a non-Muslim as ruler, which can be interpreted as a call for insurrection against the Christian Nigerian president. Fast forward 33 years later, it is Christmas Day in 2011, and Abubakar Gome has been dead for over 19 years. A bulb suddenly goes off at St. Teresa Catholic Church, Mandam, at the outskirts of Abuja, killing 35 people and wounding a further 52. Almost simultaneously, a series of coordinated bomb attacks and shootings take place at churches in Jos, Gadaka and Damaturu. An obscure Islamic group calling itself Boko Haram claimed responsibility for the attacks. During the trial of the main suspect, Kabiru Umar, aka Kabiru Sokoto, 2 years later, a Max witness claimed that an Algerian Islamic group provided funding and support worth 40 million in approximately $250,000 at the time to carry out the attacks. To the general public, it is unclear what the link is between Islamists in northern Nigeria and well-funded terror groups in North Africa. To those in the know, however, the incidents of December 25, 2011 are not only expected but are likely to intensify and become more regular. This is because while the Nigerian public up to this point has been fed with what amounts to a tiny percentage of the actual story behind the Boko Haram group, this group has in fact been incubating and nurtured at the highest level of ideological, economic and political spaces in northern Nigeria. Boko Haram in reality is so much bigger than Mohammed Yusuf and Abubakar Shekau that reducing it to those two men serves to miss the actual story spectacularly. Nasruddin, however, is a very rich man. Like all very rich men, he appears to have a way around problems that would ground other people. In 2005, Lisa Myers and Aram Rustin of the NBC News investigative unit discovered that despite his designation as a terror financer in the US, Nasruddin's Nigerian business empire and his Italian hotel are still operating in Nigeria. On this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Till I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.